Hello, and welcome to my Pearson Edexcel November 2023 Mathematics Paper 1 Higher Tier Non-Calculator Paper Walkthrough for GCSE level. Let's jump straight into it. Question number 1. Work out 6.3 multiplied by 2.4. So how I would do this without a calculator, I would do 6.3 multiplied by 2. And then I would do 6.3 multiplied by 0.4. There's obviously a lot of ways you can do this, so you can do this using Napier's bones method if you wanted to. So 6.3 multiplied by 2 is just 12.6. 6.3 multiplied by 0.4 is the same as doing 6.3 multiplied by 4 divided by 10. 6.3 multiplied by 4 is just double 6.3 multiplied by 2. So we're just going to rewrite this as 12.6 times 2 divided by 10, or 25.2 divided by 10, which is just 2.52. Therefore, our answer is going to be 12.6 plus 2.52, which is just 15.12. Question number 2. Write down the value of 5 to the power 0. Anything to the power 0 is just 1. Part II, write down the value of 5 to the power minus 2. So this is just going to be 1 over the power of 5 to the power 2. Therefore, our answer is 1 over 25. And part B, write 2 to the power 5 times 2 to the power 4 divided by 2 to the power 3 in the form 2 to the n, where n is an integer. So this is just going to be rewritten as 2 to the power 5 plus 4 over 2 to the power 3, which is just going to be 2 to the power 9 divided by 2 to the power 3, which we can rewrite as 2 to the power 9 minus 3, which is just 2 to the power 6, and that is the form of the answer that they wanted in. Question number 3. Write 156 as a product of its prime factors. We're going to do a factor tree, so 156 is going to be 2 multiplied by 78. 78 is even, so we're going to say that is 2 multiplied by 39. 39 is not even, so what goes into 39? Well, 3 goes into 39, and that's prime, and that will be multiplied by 13. And 13 is a prime number, so we can't make any more prime factors out of it. So our answer is going to be 2 times 2, so 2 squared, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 13. Part B. Find the highest common factor of 156 and 130. So we already have a factor tree up here of 156. So I'm going to do a quick factor tree of 130 over here. That's going to be 2 multiplied by 65. 65 is odd, so 5 will go into 65, so we'll put him here. 5 times 13. So 130 equals 2 times 5 times 13. 156 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 13. And so to find the highest common factor, you just have to work out the highest combination of the prime factors that are in both. And that is going to be 2 and 13. So 2 times 13 is 26, which is our highest common factor. Question number 4. The mean length of 5 sticks is 4.2 centimeters. Narwhal measured the length of one of the sticks as 7 centimeters. Work out the mean length of the other 4 sticks. So we know the mean of 5 equals 4.2. Therefore, to work out the mean, what you do is the total of all the lengths of the sticks added up divided by how many you have. So we're going to say total divided by 5 equals 4.2. Rearranging this, we're going to get the total equals 4.2 times 5, which is just 21. Narwhal measured the length of one of the sticks as 7 centimeters. So 5 sticks is 21 centimeters. Therefore, 4 sticks, if we take off the 7, is 14 centimetres, and therefore the mean of those 4 sticks is going to be 14 divided by 4, which is just going to be 3.5 centimetres. Narwhal made a mistake. The stick was not 7 centimetres long. It was 17 centimetres long. How does this affect your answer to part A? Well, it is going to bring the mean right down for the other 4 sticks, so I'm just going to say it will reduce the mean, and all it would be is this part of the question here. Instead of the total length of the 4 sticks being 14, it's going to be 4 instead, as we'll be taking off 17 and not 7. So length total of 4 sticks would be 4, therefore mean would be 1. And it's only a 1-mark question, so that's sort of all they're after for that. So question number 5. The point P lies on the line AB. Use ruler and compasses to construct an angle of 90 degrees at P. You must show all your construction lines. So I'm doing this exam paper on an iPad, so I cannot show you the ruler and compasses, but I will be able to explain to you what you need to do. Basically, you're going to need to draw a circle from point P using your ruler and compasses, and it will be on the line AB, so you're going to have something like this, just like that. It's a very flat circle, but yours will obviously be a proper circle. And the point of this is that you'll be getting 2 points that are equal distance away from each other on AP and PB. Then what you'll need to do is adjust the compasses and move them to the point on the circle. Let's call this X, and draw a sector somewhere between P and the point we'll call Y. So it would look a little bit like this. And then you would move the compasses and place them on Y without adjusting them. So you draw a similar sector from the other side. A bit like this. Again, apologies, it's not the most accurate, but without a pair of compasses on an iPad, this is the best we can do. The next thing you'll need to do is draw a straight line with your ruler from the point where these lines cross all the way down, and that will come out as a straight line if you've done it correctly. And it wants you to keep all your construction lines, and this angle here will be 90 degrees. Question number 6. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle ABD and the straight line ABC. BA equals BD. X compared to Y is the ratio 2 compared to 1. Work out the value of W. Well, the first thing we can observe is that as this is an isosceles triangle, we know that this angle here is going to be X degrees, as 2 side lengths are the same in an isosceles triangle and 2 angles are the same. And we already know X and Y are not the same. So angles in a triangle added up, we're going to have X plus Y is 180 degrees. And we already know that X and Y are related in the ratio 2 to 1. So we can say X equals 2 lots of Y. So let's replace X in our 180 degree equation with 2Y. So we'll say this is 2Y plus 2Y plus Y equals 180 degrees, or 5Y equals 180 degrees, and therefore Y equals 36 degrees. Angles on a straight line will add up to 180 degrees. So we can say 180 equals W plus Y equals W plus 36, as we've worked out Y is 36 degrees. Therefore, W is 144 degrees. And that's 4 marks. Question number 7. Mano has 3 shelves of books. There are X books on shelf A, 3X plus 1 books on shelf B, 2X minus 5 books on shelf C, a total of 44 books on the 3 shelves. All the books have the same mass. The books on shelf B have a total mass of 7,500 grams. Work out the total mass of the books on shelf A. So we're told there are 44 books in total. So if I just do 44 and say we add up all of the books on the other 3 shelves, as we are told there are X books on A, 3X plus 1 on B, 2X minus 5 on C. We'll just simplify this to say 6X minus 4 equals 44. Add 4 to the other side, we'll get 48 equals 6X. Therefore, X equals 8. So we know there are 8 books on shelf A. Has 8 books. We know B is 3X plus 1, so we know B has 25 books. And therefore, 2X minus 5, C has 11 books. Now we want the total mass of the books on shelf A. So we know 7,500 grams is mass of B, which is 25 books. So each book has mass of 300 grams. And we are told that all the books have the same mass, so therefore shelf A, 8 books have mass 2,400 grams, which is just 300 multiplied by 8. And that's a 5-mark question. Question number 8. The normal price of a mattress is reduced by 40% in a sale. The price of the mattress in the sale is £660. Work out the normal price of the mattress. So we are saying normal minus 40% is £660. So that would mean the normal price multiplied by 0.6 would be £660, as we would want to find 60% of the overall price to take 40% off of it. So what we're going to do is rearrange this to be normal equals £660 divided by 0.6. Make this a bit easier. We're going to say that is the same as £660 divided by 3 over 5, which is the same as £660 multiplied by 5 divided by 3, as I've just flipped the fraction over and changed it to a multiply. 660 divided by 3 is just 220. So £220 multiplied by 5 is just going to be £1,100. Question number 9. To cook rice, the number of cups of rice, X, compared to the number of cups of water, Y, is a ratio 4 to 5. Use this information to draw a graph to show the relationship between the number of cups of rice and the number of cups of water needed to cook the rice. So all we're going to do here, we know it's 4 to 5, so I'm going to say when X is 4, y is going to be 5. When x is 8, y is going to be 10, as that is still a ratio of 4 to 5. And we know that it is going to be a linear relationship for that reason. We also know it's going to go through 0. So I'm going to try my best to draw a straight line without a ruler here, but you would use a ruler in the exam. Not perfect, but close enough. Part B, find the gradient of the line drawn in part A. That is just going to be the difference in y divided by the difference in x. So the difference in y for the whole graph, as we know it's a straight line, we can use the whole graph, is going to be 10 as it goes from 0 to 10. Difference in x is going to be 8. It goes from 8 to 0, which is the same as saying 5 over 4. Part BII. Explain what this gradient represents. This would be the number of cups of water per cup of rice. Question number 10. The circumference of a circle is 10 meters. Work out the area of the circle. Give your answer in terms of pi. So we know circumference is 10. And we also know that the equation for the circumference is just pi multiplied by d, the diameter. So if we rewrite this as diameter equals 10 divided by pi, we want the area of the circle. So area of circle is going to be pi times r squared. Now we have the diameter, we want the radius, so all we have to do to get the radius, is divide by 2. So therefore radius is just 10 over 2 pi, or 5 over pi. So if we put that into the equation below, the area of the circle equals pi times 5 divided by pi squared, which is just pi times 25 over pi squared. The pi's cancel out, and we have 25 over pi. And they want the answer in terms of pi, so we are done. Question number 11. Alice recorded the number of cars going into a village on each of 80 days. The incomplete table and the incomplete box plot give information about her results. Part AI. Use the information in the table to complete the box plot. So first things first, we're going to put the least number onto the box plot. We know that's 300, and that is going to be shown as a line like this. Then we can see that the lower quartile, which is where the box section of the box plot begins, which is just here, that's going to be what need to be put into the table. So it's 5 boxes per 20, as I can see it's 10 boxes per, sorry, each box is worth 20, it's 5 boxes per 100, as I can see it's 10 boxes between 200, which means this here is 780, as it is 1 box short of 800, and each box is 20. So I'm going to draw this all the way to here. The median is 900, which will fall exactly between 800 and 1000, and that I can draw in like that on our box plot. The upper quartile falls on 1200. If we look at the box here, we can see 1200 is the end of the box. And the range is 1,000, which means our highest number is going to be 1,000 more than our lowest number. Our lowest number is 300. Our highest number must therefore be 1,300. So I will put that here on the box plot and draw it in. And we are done. On some of these 80 days, Alice saw fewer than 1,200 cars going into the village. Work out an estimate for the number of days Alice saw fewer than 1,200 cars going into the village. So, we know from our box plot that the upper quartile is 1,200, which means the 75% point is 1,200. So everything above 1,200 is the final 25% of the data. Which means if Alice is saying she has saw fewer than 1,200 cars, we can suggest that 75% of the time this happens. So if we work out 75% of 80, we can confidently estimate that that is accurate based on our box. And 75% of 80 is just 60. So that will be my answer. Question 12. The straight line L has equation 2y equals 3x minus 7. Find an equation of the straight line perpendicular to L that passes through 6 minus 5. So first thing I'm going to do is rearrange this equation so that it just says y equals. So we're going to say L is 2y equals 3x minus 7 is the equivalent of y equals 3 over 2x minus 7 over 2. So all I've done there is divided through by 2. A perpendicular line will have gradient minus 1 over m, where m is gradient of L. So, gradient of, we'll just call it L dash, is going to be minus 1 over 3 over 2, which is the same as saying minus 2 over 3. Therefore, L dash equals, L dash is y equals minus 2/3 x plus c. We are told that it goes through 6 minus 5, so let's put 6 minus 5 into our equation. So y is minus 5 and x is 6, so that we can work out c. So that's minus 5 equals minus 2/3 times 6, which is just minus 4, plus c. Therefore, c equals minus 1. Therefore, our line has equation y equals minus 2/3 x minus 1. Question number 13. Solid A and solid B are similar. The ratio of the height of solid A to the height of solid B is 2:5. The volume of solid A is 12 centimeters cubed. Work out the volume of solid B. So as these are similar solids, all of the sides of the solid will have the same ratio related to each other. So it's going to be height multiplied by width multiplied by depth. All three of these are going to be in the ratio of 2:5. So what we're going to need to do is say that therefore the overall relationship between the volume relationship isn't 2:5, it's actually 2 cubed, sorry, compared to 5 cubed, as each of the three sides are in the 2:5 ratio. Therefore, volume of A is 12 means volume of B, I'm actually going to simplify this here to be 2 cubed is 8, 5 cubed is 125. Volume of B must follow the same pattern. So if I do 12 divided by 8, we get 1.5. 125 multiplied by 1.5 gives us, what's half of 125? 62.5, 187.5. And that will be our volume of B. So all I've done there is I've said the volume of A is 12, and that the volume of A to the volume of B has a ratio of 8 to 125. So this is B, this is A. So basically, volume divided by this number for A will be the same as volume divided by this number for B. So volume of B divided by 125 equals volume of A divided by 8, 12 over 8, which I said is 1.5, so volume of B, as written above, is 187.5 centimeters cubed. Question 14. Work out the value of 27 to the power 2/3 plus a half to the power minus 3. So 27 to the power 2 over 3 is going to be the same as saying the cube root of 27 squared, as that's what 27 to the power 1/3 is. The cube root of 27 is just 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So we're just going to say 3 squared, which is just 9. And a half to the power minus 3 is going to be the same as 1 over a half cubed. And a half cubed is just an eighth, so the answer is going to be 1 over 1/8, which is the same as just saying 8. Therefore, 9 plus 8 is our answer, which is just 17. Question number 15. An object falls from rest. Here is the distance time graph for the distance d meters fallen by the object t seconds after it starts to fall. Work out an estimate for the gradient of the graph at t equals 3. You must show how you get your answer. So you're going to need to get your ruler out again here. At the point t equals 3, just here, and you want to draw a straight line tangent to the graph. It needs to actually be touching the graph, unlike that line I've just drawn. Something like that. And draw it long enough so that you can get to a point that you can read off of the graph like this. So I'm going to stop here and here. So we have to work out the gradient of our tangent. And what I've drawn basically is, this is 4.5, and this is obviously 2. So difference in y divided by difference in x. Your difference in your y is going to be from here, which is 75, down to here, which is 20. Before I work out my number, you've just watched me do it. I've not done this with a ruler, so do it with a ruler in the exam and you should fall within the threshold of the mark scheme. I'm not sure if I will just yet. So your difference in y is 75 minus 20, which is 55. Difference in x is going to be 4.5 minus 2, which is 2.5. 55 divided by 2.5. 55 divided by, it's going to be the same as 5 over 2, which is the same as 55 times 2 over 5. 55 divided by 5 is 11, so we're going to say that is the same as 11 times 2, which is 22, which does fall within the range of the mark scheme, but it's an estimate anyway. So as long as you fall between 22 and 28, and you've drawn the tangent, because you must show how you get your answer, then you should be okay. 22 is my answer. Question number 16. At the start of the year, n, the population of a species is Pn. At the start of the following year, the population of the species is given by Pn plus 1 equals Kpn, where K is a positive constant. The population of the species at the start of year 1 is 8 million. The population of the species at the start of year 2 is 6 million. Work out the population of the species at the start of year 3. So we are told that Pn plus 1 is Kpn. So P2, which we are told is 6 million, is K multiplied by P1, which we are told is 8 million. Therefore, 6 million equals K times 8 million. Therefore, K equals 6 million over 8 million, which is just 3 over 4. So, if we want the population of the species at the start of year 3, we want P3 equals 3/4 multiplied by 6 million, which is just going to be 4.5 million. Part B. At the start of year 5, the value of K is increased by 0.3 to a new constant value. Louise thinks that from the start of year 5, the population of the species would increase year on year. Is Louise correct? You must give a reason for an answer. She absolutely is. Yes, she is correct. K will go above 1, so multiplying by K will increase population year on year. So 17. Factorize 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. So we're going to need ax plus b, cx plus d, where ac equals 6, ad plus bc equals minus 5, and bd equals minus 4. So let a equal 6, c equal 1. Then we have 6d plus c equals minus 5. Plus b equals minus 5. And we know that bd equals minus 4, so one of these has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. Either it's 2 and minus 2, or 4 and minus 1, or minus 4 and 1. So if I say let d equal minus 1, then we have minus 6 plus b equals minus 5. So b would be 1, but that doesn't work, as we need bd to be minus 4. So we'll let d equal positive 1. Then the same problem happens. Then we have 6 plus b equals minus 5. And then b becomes minus 11. Doesn't work. Let d equal 2. Then we have 12 plus b equals minus 5, so b would be minus 7. That doesn't work. Same with minus 2. Then b would be 19. That doesn't work. So the only other option is let d equal 4, which would be 24 minus 29. That's even further away. And minus 4 also doesn't work. So this whole line doesn't work here. And that would be the same as if a being 6 and c is 1. You could have it that c is 6 and a is 1. It wouldn't make a difference because I've just used D here as the example. I could have been using B. It doesn't actually matter one way or another. So that can't be it. So the other way to make 6 is let A equal 3 and C equal 2. Then we have 3D plus 2B equals minus 5. We'll do a similar thing here. So let D equal minus 1. That would be minus 3 plus 2B equals minus 5. So minus 3 plus 2B equals minus 5, which would mean B equals, so we add 3 to the other side, so we have minus 2. So B would equal minus 1. That doesn't work, as it doesn't come to minus 4. D equal 1. We get 3 plus 2B equals minus 5. And we get B equals minus 4. Do you look at that? That works. So then we have, just check in the middle equation that works. So 3D, which would be 1, so that would be 3, plus 2B, which should be minus 8, equals minus 5. So we have A is 3, so 3x. We know B is minus 4, 3x minus 4. Cx plus D, so C we know is 2, and D we know is 1. And that's it factorized. Hence or otherwise, solve 6x squared minus 5x minus 4 is less than 0. So we factorized in part A for when the equation equaled 0. So now we want all of the solutions where the line is less than 0. So what I'm going to say is 3x minus 4, 2x plus 1 is less than 0. So what we can say, for the equation when it equaled 0, we had 3x minus 4 equals 0, and 2x plus 1 equals 0. So we had x equals 4 over 3, and x equals minus a half. So all I've done there is made x the subject of each of these two small equations. So for everything less than 0, we need x to be in the region of these two numbers. So we need x to be greater than minus a half, as soon as it's minus a half, it's 0. And we need it to be less than 4/3, as soon as it's 4/3, it's 0. These are our critical values. Therefore, this is our answer. All the values that fall between 4/3 and minus a half. You can always draw the graph to give you a better understanding. As it does say, hence or otherwise, you can solve it using a graph if you find that easier. Question 18. Spinner A and spinner B are each spun once. The probability that spinner A lands on red is 1 in 4. The probability that both spinner A and B land on red is 1 out of 24. Work out the probability that one spinner lands on red and the other does not land on red. 4-mark question. So, A red is 1 in 4. A and B red 1 in 24. Therefore, I can say confidently that B red is 1 in 6, because all A and B both landing on red is just A multiplied by B probability. So 1 over 4 times 1 over 6 is 1 over 24. So work out the probability that one spinner lands on red and the other does not land on red will just be A red multiplied by B not red plus A not red multiplied by B red, which is just 1 over 4 multiplied by 5 over 6 plus 3 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 6, which is just 5 over 24, 3 over 24. Just scroll down a little bit. So 3 over 24 plus 5 over 24, 8 over 24, which is the same as 1/3. That's our answer. Question number 19. here is the graph of y equals sine x for minus 180 to 180. Use the graph to find estimates for the solution of sine x equals 0.3. So all we have to do here, as we are told y equals sine x, is we need to find on the y-axis when the value is 0.3. So each square here is 0.1, so this here is going to be 0.3. So it's just going to be here and here. So it's estimates for the solution, but I'll do my best. So each one of these looks like it's 30, which means each square, as there are 5 squares between them, is going to be 6, which makes the top one 162, and the bottom one somewhere between 12 and 18. So I'm going to say that's about 17. So there's a little bit of wiggle room in the mark scheme again because you're estimating. So I'm going to say the solutions are 17 and 162. And part B, write down a value of x such that sine of x plus 20 degrees equals 0 for minus 180 to 180. So all you would need to do there is shift the graph by 20. So sine x equals 0 when x is 0. So I can just say minus 20. As you add 20 to that, you get 0, and then the graph above gives you 0. I'm not going to overthink it, it's a 1-mark question. Question number 20. Here is a triangle, ABC. For the size of angle, find the size of angle ABC. You must show all your working. So what I'm going to do here is the cosine rule. And the cosine rule is, of course, c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c, big C. So if I implement that into our equation, we want angle ABC, so we want this one here. We'll of course call it x. So I'll adapt my cosine rule to say side length AC that we already have. So we'll say AC equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. Doesn't matter which order we put these, so I'm just going to say AB squared plus BC squared minus 2 times AB times BC cos x. Now put in numbers, so 5 root 7 equals AB squared, so 100, plus BC squared, that's 25, minus 2 times the 2 together, so 100, cos x, all square rooted. What I'm going to do next is square both sides, because we have a square root on both sides, so that's just going to be 5 root 7 squared is going to be 25 times 7 equals 100 plus 25 minus 100 cos x. That's just going to be 175 equals 125 minus 100 cos x. We're going to take the 125 onto the other side. I'm really hoping this comes to a, a nice number because at the moment I don't have a calculator available, so hopefully it comes to a nice number. So we're going to have 50 equals minus 100 cos x. It looks like it is. Divide through by minus 100, we're going to have minus a half equals cos x. And therefore, x is 120 degrees. From knowing how the cosine graph works. Question 21. On the grid, draw the graph of x squared plus y squared equals 169. It's going to be a circle, and it's going to go from the center with a radius of 13, so that it's going to be halfway between these. So that if y is 0, then we know that x is going to be 13, because it'll be 13 squared plus 0 equals 169, and it'll be the same for if x is 0. Ready to watch me try and draw another circle without a protractor or anything on an iPad? We'll do our best. I might even try and do it one section at a time. It's going to look something like this. Oh, it looks terrible, but you get the idea. Part B. Use your graph to find estimate for the solutions of the simultaneous equations below. So we know everything on our circle is x squared plus y squared equals 169, so we really only have to look at the other one. So that's y equals 3 over 2x. So that would be, so when y is 0, x is going to be 0, and then when y is 1, x is going to be, sorry, when x is 1, y is going to be 3 over 2. So let's draw that on here. So 0, 0, 1, 3 over 2. So 1 is going to be about here. 3 over 2 is going to be about here, roughly. It's only an estimate. So if I just do that, and then we're going to want to draw a line, straight line, because it's a linear relationship, like this, and through the negatives as well. And then your solutions are going to be where it crosses your circle and your straight line. Now, I'm not going to try and pretend that my graph, you can see my graph, is not perfectly accurate, but in the exam you will draw this with your compasses, with a ruler, and I will tell you what your answers should be. You should have x equals 7.2, y equals 10.8, x equals minus 7.2, y equals minus 10.8. Just for fun, I'm going to see how far away I am with my diagram. So 7.2 is about here, 10.8 is about here. It's not super far away, actually. Anyway, we'll move on. Question number 22. The second term in a geometric sequence is 3 plus 2 root 2. The third term is 13 plus 9 root 2. Find the value of the common ratio of the sequence. Give your answer in the form a plus root b, where a and b are integers. You must show all your working. So, what I'm going to do is 13 plus 9 root 2 divided by 3 plus 2 root 2. Best way to do this is to rationalize the denominator, so I need to times both by 3 minus 2 root 2, 3 minus 2 root 2, and we're going to get 13 plus 9 root 2, 3 minus 2 root 2, and the bottom will be 3 times 3 is 9, 2 root 2 times 3, and minus 2 root 2 times 3 will cancel. Then we'll have minus 4 times root 2, which is just 2. 9 minus 8 is going to be 1, so we can get rid of the denominator altogether now. 13 times 3 is 39. 13 times minus 2 root 2 is 26 root 2. 3 times 9 root 2 is 27 root 2. Minus 2 root 2 times 9 root 2 is 18, but minus 18 root 2 squared, which is 2, so minus 36. It's going to give us 3 plus root 2. There's a lot of cancelling out there. 39 minus 36 gives you 3. 27 root 2 minus 26 root 2 just gives you root 2. And that's our answer. And that is the final question. As always, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you've got any questions, comments, leave them down below. I intend to do the rest of these papers for November 2023 series for Edexcel, so subscribe if you're interested in that, and I will catch you next time.